Wait, are we recording already?
I think it's on. I can see the red light.
Guys, don't say anything embarrassing now. This is going on air.
Okay. Focus. Deep breaths. We're being sustainable now, remember?
Hello, SustiCast guys.
Hi from me too.
And a green little hello from me. Today we're diving into that part of a building that never makes it into the brochure. The part that's not so green. Embodied carbon.
Imagine stepping into a new build that proudly screams, "Smart Eco Living," as if the brochure alone could save the planet.
You open the door, the air smells fresh. New, everything spotless. Double glazed windows, a smart thermostat blinking softly on the wall, glossy bamboo flooring, and of course a shiny solar panel gleaming on the roof. The homeowner grins proudly and says, "This place is A-rated for energy. Our electric bill is cheaper than a loaf of bread." And you're impressed.
Do you think, wow, this is what sustainability looks like? But hold up. There's something no one's telling you. Something that's not in the brochure. Not mentioned during the tour. Not written on any wall.
It's called embodied carbon, or what I like to call the carbon you don't see. What does that even mean? It means that before you ever turn on a single light switch, a whole lot of pollution has already been dumped into the atmosphere. Just to build this place. Think about it.
Bricks had to be fired, steel had to be forged, glass had to be melted, all of it made, processed, and shipped, maybe from halfway across the world.
So yeah, this building hasn't even taken its first breath. But its carbon footprint, already ahead of most of us.
Okay, let's pause for a second and ask the big question. What actually is embodied carbon? Is it a new trend? Some kind of sustainability buzzword?
Not really. Let me break it down. Before a building ever switches on a single light bulb or powers its first heater, a lot has already happened behind the scenes. Concrete has been poured, steel has been melted, bricks have been fired, wood has been cut, plastic has been molded. All of that, every single step, takes energy. And when that energy mostly comes from fossil fuels, which it usually does, you guessed it, we get CO2 in the atmosphere.
So yeah, embodied carbon is basically the invisible pollution baked into the building. It's the carbon emissions from everything that went into making, moving, and installing the materials. From raw extraction all the way to that final coat of paint.
So even before the building gets its first gas bill, it's already left a nice fat carbon footprint behind. Let's throw in some numbers so it sticks. Producing just 1 square meter of concrete can emit as much carbon as running a microwave 50 times. 1 single square meter. Now multiply that by hundreds, even thousands of square meters in an average building. Or take steel. Creating just 1 ton of steel can release up to 2 tons of CO2. So yeah, every I-beam might as well come with a puff of smoke included.
And listen, I get it. These materials are necessary. We're not saying stop building things. But this is exactly where smart material choices come in.
The big question isn't just what embodied carbon is. The real question is, why does it matter so much right now? And we'll get into that in the next segment. Why does embodied carbon even matter? The building isn't even born yet, and it's already guilty. Okay, so now we know what embodied carbon is. But the real question is, why should we care and why now?
Well, the numbers are kind of shocking. But true. In today's buildings, especially the really green-looking ones, You know, the ones with shiny solar panels, smart thermostats, and an eco mode that's probably smarter than you. Between 50 to 70% of the building's entire carbon emissions over its whole lifetime happen in the first few months, before anyone even moves in.
Yep, that building you're admiring is already made the planet take one more deep breath, and not in a good way. That's the invisible weight of embodied carbon. The carbon released during the manufacturing, transportation, and installation of all the materials concrete, steel, bricks, even tile adhesive.
Now, here's the really worrying part. We don't have time to make up for it later. We can't just go, okay, let's pollute a bit now, and we'll offset it later with a couple LED bulbs. Nah, doesn't work like that. Embodied carbon is like a typo in a group message. Once it's sent, it's out there. You can't unsend it. You can't edit it. You just hope no one screenshots it. Same thing here. Once that carbon is out, it's in the atmosphere, doing its thing. So even if your building uses barely any electricity in its lifetime, if it started off full of high carbon materials, the damage is already done.
That's why architects, engineers, even policymakers are saying we can't wait until the end of a project to think about sustainability. We need to start with it. That means choosing smarter materials, smarter designs,
And even asking simple questions like, do we really need to demolish this, or can we reuse part of it? Because every decision in the early stages can make a massive difference in the long run. So now that we've got that cleared up, let's talk about what we can actually do to keep our buildings low carbon from day one. Not just cute and shiny on the outside. Let's
build smart, not just smash and start over. All right, now that we've peeked behind the walls and uncovered all the hidden mess,
The real question is, what can we actually do? Is there hope? Or are we supposed to sit in front of a fan and pray the planet cools down? Good news.
There is hope. And many of the solutions are already out there, ready to go. Let's break it down step by step. Low carbon materials. It all starts with what you build with. If you want a low carbon building, you can't keep using the same old materials that have been with us since the Industrial Revolution. We need a new lineup, and luckily, it's already here.
Engineered wood like CLT, cross-laminated timber, glulam, and friends. These materials are strong, reliable, and most importantly, they act like carbon vaults. They lock in carbon instead of releasing it. A building made with CLT is basically a giant horizontal tree. It doesn't just reduce emissions at trizens, it stores them, sometimes for decades. Recycled bricks or low-carbon concrete, like concrete that uses GBS, a byproduct from steel production instead of traditional Portland cement. Regular concrete is a carbon bomb. But the newer mixes, they can cut emissions by 40 to 50%. And bonus, they help recycle industrial waste.
bio-based insulation, think hemp, sheep's wool, or even recycled cotton, instead of plastic foams that feel like they were designed in a post-apocalyptic lab. These are natural, cozy, and when they reach the end of their life, they biodegrade quietly without cursing nature on their way out. And finally, bamboo. Yep, bamboo is in the chat. Does it have potential? Absolutely. It grows fast, it's strong, lightweight, and has a low carbon footprint. But let's be real, in the UK, it's still the new kid on the block. Most bamboo is imported, standards are still evolving, and it's mostly used in niche projects or for interiors. So, yeah, bamboo's on the guest list, but it's not at the main table. Yet,
But here's the key message. We already have tons of materials that are cheaper, greener, and more effective. We just need to shift how we think and start checking the EPD, Environmental Product Declaration, of a product, not just the price tag in the contractor's spreadsheet.
Because every material has a footprint, and we get to choose whether that footprint's a stomp or a step forward. Green on the outside? Let's check inside too. So, here's what we've learned so far.
a green building isn't just the one with solar panels on the roof, yeah? It's the one that doesn't leave a heavy carbon footprint inside the walls either. What does that mean? It means if someone proudly tells you this building is A-rated for energy, you should pause for a second and ask, how many Fs did the planet get to give this place an A?
Because sustainability isn't just about how much gas or electricity a building uses. It starts way earlier with what we build, how we build it, and most importantly, why. Whether you're a designer, a home buyer, or just an everyday citizen.
You have power to ask questions,
Power to demand better.
Power to choose consciously.
and if you're still wondering,
Do we really have to build something new to be sustainable?
Or is renovation sometimes the better option?
Next episode, we dive into a juicy showdown.
Retrofit versus demolish and rebuild. We'll explore. When should we tear it all down and start over? When does it make more sense to keep the bones and give a building a new life?
and is retrofitting always greener or just cheaper? If you're curious about how to cut emissions without blowing up buildings,
This one's for you. You've been listening to SustiCast.
Where we look behind the walls of sustainability.
until next time.
Think green.
Don't act gray.